Hello, creatives. Thank you for dropping by. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button and hit the like button. So, subscribe and like. I appreciate it. Helps the channel out. It helps us grow. So, today I want to talk about the fact that we are all flawed. I know we had a video earlier about progress, not perfection. So, it kind of touches on the same thing. But this is something a little bit more in depth. When you realize that we are all flawed, that we're flawed beings, the most important thing to grasp in regards to that concept is to give yourself some grace. Now, what I'm trying to say here is that doesn't mean that you should accept every mistake you make as, okay, I'm just flawed, so it's going to be a mistake. But when you do make mistakes, and trust me, you will make mistakes, it's okay to understand that we are flawed beings. We will make mistakes. We will make errors. We will commit faux pas, as they say, right? But what's key in that is to understand, yes, I made a mistake. Don't dwell on it too much. Don't let it turn your whole day into something horrible. Acknowledge that you made the mistake. Clean it up if you can. Admit it. Try to fix it if you can. Try to, if it's against someone else, come clean with that person and let them know. Admit that you made a mistake, and then give yourself enough grace, enough latitude, enough understanding to realize we are all flawed and move on. Now, the key to making mistakes, because we will make them, is to learn from your mistakes. In other words, you don't want to make a mistake, feel bad, and then repeat the same mistake, and then consider that you're flawed. Give yourself the grace, and then again make the same mistake. Then you're not learning from the mistake. You want to be able to make that mistake, learn from it, understand that you're flawed, understand that you're not perfect, but and give yourself the grace to get over it, and at the same time, look for the lesson within that mistake. Look for where you can grow from that mistake, what you can take from that mistake and apply it to your life, apply it to your knowledge, to your wisdom that you're acquiring, and then not repeat the same mistake. That's the key. Yes, you're flawed. Yes, you're going to make mistakes. I make them all the time still. But the important thing is that you're constantly learning, and we'll touch upon that in another short. The ability to keep learning. So you have these situations, and you realize that you're flawed. But just as important as realizing that you're flawed, you have to realize that the people around you, everyone around you in this world, on this planet, is flawed as well. There's no one walking this earth that's perfect. Let me just say that one more time. No one walking this earth is perfect. We all have our flaws. And the same way that you can give yourself that grace and understanding when you make a mistake, and you can make it so that you don't make that mistake again, you have to extend that same grace to the people in your life. Sometimes we may be in a bad mood, we get short-tempered, and a person makes a mistake, and that's the one that broke the camel's back, so to speak. But you have to understand, they're not perfect. They're flawed, just like you're flawed. And today, they may be the one making the mistake, but tomorrow, it might be you. And you would want some understanding. You would want that level of grace. You would want that they understand that I'm not perfect. I can make mistakes. I'm human, and I make mistakes. So the same way you give yourself that grace, the same way you understand that you're flawed, I want you to internalize that the people in your life are flawed as well. It's a matter of understanding that we're human, that we make mistakes, and hopefully we grow from those mistakes. Hopefully we're internalizing, I messed up, or I shouldn't have done that. We take that and we learn from it, so we don't repeat the mistakes. So don't do it over and over again, because many times those mistakes can injure people, can hurt their feelings, can make people feel less than. And we don't want to carry that into our lives. We don't want to be surrounded by people who resent us. So learn from your mistakes. And again, we'll touch upon the constant learning in a later video. Learn from your mistakes, but also try to have the understanding that we're all operating from a place where we're all flawed. And if you could get that, if you can internalize that, if you can grasp that concept, your life will be a little easier and lighter, because when people say things that might offend you, or do things that might hurt your feelings, if you come from a place of everyone's flawed, maybe they're having a bad day, maybe that they're dealing with something that I don't know, and this is the way that they're dealing with it, and there's an outburst, and they're taking it out on me. I have nothing to do with that situation, but this is what happens. Then when you realize we're flawed, we deal with our situations in tough ways, in difficult ways, in awkward ways, it makes your life a little easier, and you can have an easier time dealing with other people. So today, understand you're flawed, I'm flawed, we're all flawed, but that doesn't mean that we can't extend grace to the people in our lives, starting with ourselves. So have a great rest of your day, and above all things, be uncommon. Take care.